Welcome back to Straight Facts by Dinar Investor. Hey guys, good morning. Hope everyone's doing well. Just wanted to kind of reiterate and share this amazing opportunity with you guys again. I am not a fiduciary, nor am I a financial advisor. I'm just a friend trying to pass along and share an amazing blessing and opportunity with you. Okay. After the rate change, there's a few people that only have just a few million dinar, and then there's some that have quite a few million dinar. Okay. But if you position yourself correctly after the rate change, you don't even have to plan to live off of just a few million. You could actually, if you invested your money and position your money correctly, you could actually live the rest of your life just off of a few $100,000. If you could find the right opportunity that could give you rewards and returns ranging from 6% to 12%, okay, and then you strategically invested that to get gains and returns ranging from, say, 6 to 12% every month, you could live very comfortably. Because, for example, if you say you invested $200,000 in cryptocurrency and it gave you returns of around 10%, guys, that $200,000 getting monthly returns of 10% would actually be $20,000 per month. That's just an example. So you could live very comfortably on that $20,000 per month from the $200,000 that you strategically invested. That's why positioning yourself is very important. Cloud will do that for you guys. It's 100% free. It doesn't cost you anything. What I challenge I know many think this is a scam or it sounds too good to be true. What I challenge many of you guys to do, first off, to get all of the rewards from Cloud, you do need to invest a minimum of $600 to get both passive and shared rewards, okay? But to test it, guys, you can use as little as anywhere from $60 to $100 worth of crypto just to test it. I challenge every single one of you guys to do that and test it and try to prove to yourself or try to find something wrong with it, guys, because you're going to blow yourself away and you're going to be shocked and kind of in awe. You won't be able to find anything wrong. That's the amazing thing in this. It's the real deal. You won't be able to find anything wrong with it. If you were to invest $60 to $100, it's going to give you returns probably ranging anywhere from like 5 cents to 10 cents per day, okay? That's what you're going to see just from testing it, and it's going to shock you when you see these returns of 5 to 10%, guys. But based on how you position yourself, that's what this Cloud 2.0 can do for you guys after the rate change. Positioning is very important. Positioning yourself after the rate change is very important because you can very well position yourself after the rate change with Cloud 2.0 and live very comfortably for the rest of your life with just a few $100,000 instead of needing quite a few million. That's how important this is, okay? And guys, I'm not here to sell you anything. I don't want your money. I'm probably one of the only gurus out there that does everything I pour my heart out to you guys to try to help you with everything I can for absolute free at no cost, because I want you guys to be blessed. I want you guys to live a long, happy, healthy, prosperous life. That's my goal for myself, and I want that for you guys as well, okay? So I challenge every single one of you guys to try Cloud for free. Just put as little as $60 into it, $60 to $100 in Cloud. When you put it into Cloud, you have to move it from the Cloud wallet over to the Jarvis AI. And then when you put it into the Jarvis AI, you're going to start seeing yourself getting like gains from this, again, ranging it probably from 6 cents to 10 cents per day, and it will blow you away. Okay, I challenge every single one of you guys to do this. All right? And I'm only sharing this with you guys because I care about you and I want the absolute best for you. Again, this whole thing is free at no cost. So anyway, off to Iraq. Let's get into Iraq news. What you're believing. The big thing that, here's what we're waiting on. Here's what we're looking for. We need to see them they have to finish, technically, they have to finish the formation of the government. They have to finish getting the proxy positions out. Okay. That'll put the stability within the formation of the government that the CBI was looking for. And then they have to finish positioning the country economically and financially, meaning they have to finish and approve the 2020 budget. Okay. And then notice just how a few days ago they told you they're going to also amend the Constitution. That will allow them to be able to implement Article 140 and a couple other laws. Because remember, as we kind of around the start of September, they said in this current legislative term, they were going to do that controversial basket of laws. That's everything that, and again, guys, don't trust them when they give you dates. In fact, on that article where they told us that they were going to amend the Constitution within the next 4 months, it won't be 4 months, guys. It'll be probably closer to 5 to 6. Okay, remember, I've strongly shown you, based on facts I've shown you, that they, a lot of times they give you false and inaccurate, when they give you dates, that's where they lie to you within the media, is pertaining to dates. Okay, because remember they told us back from it would have been March through July in that legislative term, they said, oh yeah, we're going to increase the exchange rate of the dinar during the current legislative term, March through July. Didn't happen. They lied to you there. Now they're telling us, back at the beginning of September, they said during this current legislative term we're in right now that they're going to complete, I think they said 8 of the controversial laws, and they even mentioned the oil and gas in that during the current legislative term from September, which will go from September through December. You're not going to see it. And then just a few days ago, they came out saying they're going to amend the Constitution within the next 4 months. You won't see the Constitution amended in 4 months, guys. It's going to be more like 5 to 6 months, not 4. Okay? They don't trust them when they give you dates. They always lie to you pertaining to dates. So I just want to stress that to you. But guys, we're looking amazing. And what I want to stress to you is, while we have potentially another, I mean, guys, we could easily be waiting another 5 months in this. Okay? Because like I said, they're not going to finish approving that budget until close to February. I mean, it could even be early March in that. And guys, if we do have to wait another 5 months, what I've shared with you, go test Cloud. Cloud will give you that opportunity to put $60 to $100 in. Again, you have to move it over to the Jarvis AI. You can't just leave it in the Cloud wallet. It has to be in the Jarvis AI portion of the software. And you're going to see it giving you returns of 6 to 10 cents per day, and it's going to blow you away seeing those returns and those rewards coming from it. So again, I'm not a financial advisor, nor am I a fiduciary. I'm just a friend trying to help you guys out with a blessing and an amazing program with what it can do for you. Here's some Iraq news for you guys. Have a great day, and God bless every single one of you.
World Bank. Iraq's economy is slowly recovering. October 31st, 2019. World Bank logo. Money and business. Economy news. Baghdad. The World Bank announced that the Iraqi economy is slowly recovering in 2019. In the first half of 2019, GDP grew by 4.8% compared to the previous year, leading to a reversal of the contraction in the economy over the past 2 years, the World Bank said in a report on Iraq seen by the Economy News. He added that this growth comes as a result of the increase in crude oil production, up to 6.3% so far, and the recovery in non-oil economic activity, an increase of 5.6% in the first half of 2019 compared to last year. He stressed that the recent recovery is due to improved levels of rainfall and the production of record agricultural crops and improved electricity production and expansionary fiscal policy linked to increased wage bill and public consumption. Such positive developments are expected to raise real GDP growth to an estimated 4.6% by the end of the year, he said. He pointed out that the Iraqi economy outperformed its counterparts in the region this year, but the dynamics of the population requires much higher growth to maintain the current level of prosperity. Deputy for others, Sattar discussed with Sistani replace Abdul Mahdi October 31, 2019. Baghdad, news balances. MP for moving, Umjad punitive, said the cleric Mahdi al-Sattar met with supreme religious authority in Iraq, Mr. Ali al-Sistani in Najaf, and discussed with him to replace Prime Minister Adel Abdul Mahdi. In a televised interview, al-Aqabi said, Sattar met with the highest religious authority in Iraq, Mr. Ali al-Sistani, in Najaf, water, food and tents in some protest areas in Iraqi cities. He added that Sattar discussed with Sistani replace Abdul Mahdi, noting that Sattar may participate in demonstrations Square Tahrir, central Baghdad. He admitted that the alliance of others went wrong in appointing Abdul Mahdi as prime minister. Peace Palace hosts an important meeting to discuss the fate of the government October 31, 2019. Baghdad news. Al-Salam Palace in Baghdad held an important meeting that included a number of leaders to discuss the fate of the government and the issue of the dismissal of Prime Minister Adel Abdul Mahdi. A source familiar with the news at an important meeting was held at the Peace Palace in the capital Baghdad, chaired by President Barham Saleh and a number of leaders, including Speaker of Parliament Mohammed Halbousi and a number of other leaders. He explained that the meeting included discussing the fate of the government and the dismissal of Prime Minister Adel Abdul Mahdi and how to run the country during the coming period and also respond to the demands of the demonstrators. Source: President of the Republic communicates with Sattar in order to dismiss the government of Abdul Mahdi October 31, 2019. Independent. A political source confirmed the existence of communication between President Barham Saleh and the leader of the Saturist movement, Mahdi al-Sattar, to dismiss Prime Minister Adel Abdul Mahdi within days. The source told the website of Russia Today RT continued, independent, that communication was present earlier between Saleh and Sattar, but was strengthened on Tuesday and Wednesday, when the leader of the Saturist movement returned from Iran, noting that the parties are considering the removal of Abdul Mahdi inside the Dome Parliament. It is possible that the coming hours will witness a stand by President Barham Saleh regarding the fate of Abdul Mahdi's government, the source added. The president of the Kurdistan region announces support for the amendment of the Iraqi constitution, but on conditions October 31, 2019. Kurdish women. October 31, 2019 2 hours, 46 minutes, and 53 seconds. AAA+. Kurdistan President Nechirvan Barzani said on Thursday the region's support for constitutional amendments to contribute to improving the living and service reality of the Iraqi people, rejecting any amendment detrimental to democracy and federalism in the country. Barzani said in a speech at the General Conference of the Kurdistan Bar Association held in the capital, Erbil. The constitution drafted for the new Iraq is one of the advanced constitutions compared to the countries of the region, but the main problem is to forget about its application. It must be clear to everyone that any change or amendment to the constitution should take into account the rights of all components, he said. However, Barzani said, we do not oppose any amendment to the constitution to improve the living and service conditions in Iraq, but any amendment that creates injustice and damages democracy and federalism and against the interests of the people of Kurdistan and Iraq, we reject it and does not meet in any way with the legitimate demands of the demonstrators. He continued, the president of the Kurdistan region, the people of Iraq want to improve their living conditions and not to aggravate the situation in the country, stressing that Iraq needs security and political stability and resolve crises and problems is not destabilize security and stability. Barzani said that the problems and crises in Iraq because of the mistakes made by successive governments to rule for many years and no government can solve those problems in 1 year, stressing the region's support for the steps of the federal government reform. Pictures. After a bloody night, demonstrators stationed at a second bridge in central Baghdad and protests continue October 31, 2019. Politics. Demonstrations. Baghdad, Iraq, October 31, 2019 4 hours, 1 minute, and 40 seconds. AAA+. Dozens of demonstrators were stationed on Thursday at one side of the Al-Sink Bridge in central Baghdad after a bloody night as they crossed into the other bank and headed to the fortified Green Zone. The correspondent of the Twilight News, that the demonstrators were stationed today at the first line, which was crossed last night in the bridge Al-Sink with the continued firing of smoke and sound bombs intermittently and cases of suffocation are treated at the same moment. He added that the protesters were also stationed at the first line in the Bridge of the Republic near the demonstration center Tahrir Square, but there is no bombs at the moment. A security source and eyewitnesses reported that at least one person was killed and dozens injured in the ranks of the demonstrators as they tried to cross the Al-Sink Bridge in the center of Baghdad and go towards the Green. The source and witnesses said that the demonstrators tried more than once on Wednesday night on Thursday to cross the bridge, snack, but the troops present there faced them with tearful nabule. At least one protester, Kara Jamil al-Khaili, was killed and dozens wounded, the source and witnesses said. The Akil tribe called Kara dead, saying he had fallen while trying to cross the bridge. This comes at a time when the city of Duwaniyah, Basra, Amara, Kut, Hilla, Karbala and Nayath, which is predominantly Shiite, are witnessing demonstrations against the deterioration of living and services and the spread of unemployment within the community, nepotism, financial and administrative corruption in state institutions and departments. The Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights has announced that the clashes that took place from the date of 25, 30 inches of October this month resulted in the death of 100 people and injuring 5,500 demonstrators and security forces and the arrest of 399, released 343 of the men, damage to 98 building of public and private property. The presence of Soleimani by telephone. Details of the meeting with Saleh political blocs and put substitutes Abdul Mahdi October 31st, 2019. Politics.
Adel Abdul Mahdi.
Demonstrations in Iraq. Barham Saleh. Iraqi political blocs.
Qasem Soleimani, 2019, 10, 31 5 ore, 12 minuti, 13 secondi. AA+.
Demonstrations in Iraq entered on Thursday, the seventh day, putting the government in great trouble. The capital Baghdad and a number of provinces in the south of the country witnessed continuous demonstrations over the current week, during which the ceiling of demands rose to the demand to dismiss the government and parliament and amend the constitution, as well as demand for political and economic reform and the fight against corruption rampant in the joints of the state. On Wednesday night, demonstrations rose in Baghdad, where security forces fired tear gas to prevent thousands of angry protesters from going to the Iranian embassy and encircling it. The anger on the street is putting a heavy strain on the government of Adel Abdul Mahdi, especially after the influential Shiite cleric in Iraq, the leader of the largest parliamentary bloc, withdrew the cover, calling on Abdul Mahdi to resign. In this context, a deputy in the Iraqi parliament told Arabnet, declining to be named, that the leaders of the Iraqi political blocs met Wednesday evening in the Peace Palace with President Barham Saleh to discuss a way out of the crisis in the country. Report this ad. The MP explained that the meeting discussed the challenges of getting out of the crisis, pointing to the existence of alternative names put forward in the meeting, in the event of Abdul Mahdi's resignation, including the governor of Basra, Asad al-Adani, and MP Adnan al-Zarfi, and former Minister of Labor and Social Affairs, Mohammed Shia Sudanese. In addition, he revealed that there is another meeting may be held on Thursday or later between the three presidencies, President of the Republic and Prime Minister and Speaker of Parliament, to discuss the renewed crisis in the country since October 25. He also said that Iran has long entered the line of demonstrations, seeking through its followers of Iraqi politicians to try to absorb the anger of the street by dismissing the government and holding early elections, but under the terms of the Quds Force commander, Qasem Soleimani. According to private sources for Arabnet, Soleimani continued by telephone the meeting of the President of the Republic with leaders of political blocs, and learned of all the proceedings of the meeting, including the selection of an alternative to the Prime Minister, has been advised not to be outside the Fatah alliance, headed by Hadi al-Amiri close to him. Gold rises as the dollar falls after the U.S. Central Bank cut interest rates October 31, 2019. Gold prices rose on Thursday, as the dollar fell after the Federal Reserve cut interest rates for the third time this year, but with reference to the cessation of the monetary easing cycle. Among the factors behind the decision by the U.S. Central Bank, pointing to further suspension of interest rate increases, were hopes for a U.S.-China agreement in principle and calling for a truce in their 16-month trade war. By 0557 Greenwich Mean Time, spot gold rose 0.1% to $1,496.94 an ounce. Prices have risen nearly 2% this month. U.S. gold futures rose 0.2% to $1,499.70 an ounce. The dollar index, which tracks the performance of the greenback against a basket of 6 rival currencies, slipped 0.3% to 97.36, cutting the cost of gold to holders of other currencies. Asian stocks rallied to welcome a rate cut, and U.S. stock futures rose, with the broader MSCI Asia Pacific Index outside Japan up 0.2%. For other precious metals, palladium rose 0.4% to $1,813 after jumping about 2% in the previous session, posting gains for the third consecutive month. Silver gained 0.3% to $17.92 an ounce, while platinum advanced 0.2% to $927.13 an ounce is over.